crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? Did you beat your wife? Did you kick up Huck? Well, find your crimes and rake it up. Did you laugh at Hubbard? That's not nice, and now you'll have to pay your price. So what are your crimes, Mark? What have you done? Oh, it's too late now. Fair game's begun.
I wouldn't say I'm a criminal, but I am a little stinker. Hello, it's Mark Bunker here at the intergalactic headquarters of Xenu TV. Yes, I know, settle down. It's exciting. It's breathtaking to see the magnificent venue we have here. But we've got work to do, people. And you know who's here? The first one in? Mr. David Miscavige. David Miscavige has been busy. OT8s and I are currently doing all we can to handle the situation in Iran. Well, that is great. So I know the world is about to end. But thank you, Slappy, for all that you do for and against humanity. Always happy to have you here. Dirty deal on the Phil video. There's something I'm missing here. Kelly, fill me in. What's going on with the Phil video? 49ers fan for life asks, did I see the video Scientology put up with Laura's dad? I haven't watched his video, but I did watch Laura's video last night where she played the video. And that was truly devastating. And, you know, that's why I was going to do a live last night, and, you know, the best mod in the world told me, you know, she's about to do this video about her dad, so no one's going to come and see your little dog and pony show. And I said, you're right. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm just going to go watch her. So, and I'm glad I did. It was great. And by the time she was done, I said, humanity needs to rest. Not just me, but all of us who just went through that video with Laura. We need to take a break. And did I take a break? No, I stayed up until like 7 in the morning working on video, more stuff for the channel here. And I'm going to play at least one of the pieces, a short piece tonight. But I've got other things that I have been editing and upscaling and all that stuff kind of lined up for the next few days. Thank you. Dirty deal on the Phil video. Thank you. I was thinking of the billboard Phil. His name is Phil in it. So, yep, word for word, that's what Kelly said. See, I told you. You can trust me to be on the straight and narrow. Hoping this video doesn't make me sick to my stomach, says poof 9/11. Just got to remember how many are on the side of good, like Bunky and Magoo. Man, we're on the side of good, just like you know, that great tasting Diet Pepsi. Okay, so what you know we're going to talk about tonight. Yesterday I was planning to play some Lisa McPherson material, an old radio show. We'll get to it some other time. But tonight there was a city council meeting here in Clearwater, and we're going to discuss that and take a look at what happened at the meeting tonight. And oh, it was breathtaking. This was yet another hearing on Garden Street. You know how Scientology has pretty much bought up everything in downtown Clearwater. And they have promised the city that they're going to make a magnificent, vibrant downtown for would allow Miscavige to have 1 block of a city street downtown, Garden Street. Oh, he's lusting after that. He's got to have it. This is the street right in front of the L. Ron Hubbard Hall. Right between the L. Ron Hubbard Hall and the L. Ron Hubbard Park. This will be the L. Ron Hubbard block. You've got to give Slappy this street, Slappy says. And I'm sure Slappy agrees with me. Butch Kuhn is a new member. Good evening to you, Butch. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Tell all your friends and family. Nice to see you here. So I went to the meeting tonight. Normally, and I expected this to be packed. Well, I got to tell you. Normally, the city council meeting is on Thursday night. This week, hey, we're doing it Wednesday. So I think maybe some people were aware that the date was changed on it. I think what chased most people away was the parking situation. You know, one of the things that happened once we put the amphitheater in our downtown park right next to the library where the council meeting held. Uh-oh. Is there a little interruption there? I saw a blip. Man, let me know that everything's okay. We have this amazing Coachman Park with an amphitheater that's drawing crowds of people for concerts most nights. And where the parking lot for the library used to be, most of that has been taken away as a staging area for where they're going to be building a hotel right next door to the library. So we're relying on a parking lot that Scientology owns right across the street. And normally you can just go there, park for free, but there's a concert going on. And you pull in and you see $30 to park. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people did what I initially was thinking about doing. Let's just keep driving and go home. But I said, no, I have a message. Must deliver. So I'm going to find a place to park. And I did find a place to park. And I'm so glad that I did, because I wound up in the exact parking spot I used to park at the back of the Lisa McPherson Trust. And it was open and free. Oh, okay. I'm parking here. And you know what? It was right there. There's a hallway that goes through that building from the front door to the back door where I was. And on as you're looking in from the rear of the building, on the right side was where my office was. And on the left, no. Okay, I'm confused. My office, I'm looking at here, and so probably, for you, it may have looked right. But my office was on the left. Stacy and Jesse and all those folks had an office over on the right. And when we were there, Scientologists would come trooping through that hallway all the time, even when there was a TRO, an injunction put into place that prevented where Scientologists could walk and where members of the LMT could walk. One thing that has not changed since then, and I just want to acknowledge that Butch says, "Thank you, Wise Beardman, for the acknowledgement. Proud to be a member." Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to have you here, brother. So in the injunction, it lists buildings that I can go to. And one building that it's absolutely fine for me to go to because it's in the court order, 33 North Fort Harrison, is where I can go, but Scientologists can't. That's the old Lisa McPherson Trust, which is now the Way to Happiness. And I thought, it'd be fun if the door was open here and I could just walk through the hallway and make a shortcut over to the city council meeting tonight. Wouldn't that be fun? Nothing illegal about it, because it says right there in the injunction that Scientology continues to try to use against me that I can be at 33 North Fort Harrison. So I tried it, and of course the door was locked. I knew it was locked. I just tried it anyway, looked down there, and then I said, okay, I'm going to walk around the building and I'll go over to the meeting. And I took a few steps away, looked over my shoulder, and there was a Scientology security guard running over to that door, looking through it. Oh my God, what's happened here? An SP just touched that door handle. And I was amused by that. And I just went by and headed over a block away to the library. On my way there, I met a figure that has some renown in Clearwater, Dr. Gilbert Janelli, who you may have read if you read Tony Ortega's website. Just a couple of days ago, he announced that Dr. Gilbert Janelli just sold 4 more buildings that he's been hanging on to for a long time, said he's never going to sell. Well, he sold them to Scientology. And so as I'm walking to the library, there's Dr. Gil Janelli selling parking in the lot at one of these buildings. Now, Scientology, mind you, it was charging $30 to park right across the street from the library. Dr. Gilbert Janelli was undercutting his new Scientology overlords. He was charging $20 to park in his parking lot. And I walked up to him and I said, well, didn't you just sell this property? And you're selling parking spaces here? And he said, I'm a smart one. I had a deal. I leased it back, sold it to him, and I'm leasing it back. And he told me, listen, if you can't beat them, join them, which is why he sold the properties. And he was telling me what a great deal it was. I put a lot of restrictions and caveats on this sale, and Miscavige is going to allow the people who are in these buildings now to stay there until the magical rebirth of the downtown, when Scientology makes the entire area bloom. They can stay there and not be kicked out until that moment comes. Well, God bless you, Mr. Miscavige, and I know David's here. God bless you, is all I'm saying. So we'll see how that goes, because they do get some of these property owners do get promises, and then things can change. Anyway, so I ran into Gilbert. Now he's somebody that when I got on the council, people in City Hall were saying, this guy's a lot. He had a lot of fines for properties he wasn't keeping up. And, he was a troubling landlord. I won't say a slumlord, but he was somebody that was difficult to deal with. And I went over, he is an optometrist. And so I went over to his office and sat down with him. And that guy can talk, I tell you. You think I'm rambling. That guy can keep you there for hours. And he'll be blowing smoke. And I knew he was blowing smoke. You're doing a great job. Oh, boy. And then, so he'd be praising me like that. And then because of the sunshine laws, I would see that he'd, send an email to other council members saying, oh, that punker. Oh, what a nightmare. So, yeah, that's Dr. Gilbert Janelli for you. And after the council meeting, as I was heading home, I thought, let me just get a picture of the doctor to send to Tony Ortega in case he's interested. And I pulled out my phone, and it was on video. And I thought, okay, I'll just shoot a little video. He saw me as I kind of pulled over across the street from him and pointed the camera out toward him. So he started hiding his face. Let's take a look here. Pushing the parking, and I kept the camera on him long enough for him to start peeking over. Is he there? Is he still filming me? Yeah, he's there. Oh, I'll just wave. He sees me. Okay. All right. Thank you. And then now he knows the game's over. I might as well just show my face. I look stupid hiding behind the sign. So that's Dr. Gilbert Janelli. And as I was driving away from the scene there, had my window rolled down, and he shouted, hey, Mark, you want a job? Got a job for you, $25 an hour. And I said, no, thanks. For one, I'm not going to trust Dr. Janelli. Yeah, he's gonna be coming through for me. So that's that. He is an interesting character. And he's a little richer now, having sold these properties he swore he'd never sell to Scientology. But hey, you can't beat him, join him. Look at this. Elk of Antioch is here. Hello to you. Hail Emperor Xenu, and hail Emir Bunker, loyal officer of the TGAC Revolutionary Guards Council. Not the best spoken member of the Revolutionary Guards Council, but I do what I can. Poof, are you saying something nasty about Dr. Gilbert Janelli? I won't stand for it. Come on, guys, pillar of society here in Clearwater. So I had comments that I wanted to make tonight at the council meeting. What happened is Ryan Cotton, the council member who took over my seat 2, and is desperately in favor of David Miscavige getting Garden Street. He put this on the agenda. In council meetings, each council member is able to tell the city manager, listen, there's something I want to talk about at the meeting. So that gets put on the agenda. And he was terribly worried about our state attorney general writing a letter to the mayor saying, you better sell David Miscavige that street, as this is religious discrimination. You got to treat everybody the same, and you're putting awful restrictions on the man too. But you're telling him that you're not going to sell him the street unless he puts businesses in buildings blocks away. That's not legal. You can't do that. So this letter made news. The state attorney general is siding with Scientology. Well, yeah, Scientology went right to him as soon as the city said no, and said, it's terrible. It's such religious discrimination. And, got the attorney general to put his thumb on the scale here for them. So Ryan wanted to talk about it. And I thought, well, great, because that gives us an opportunity to stand up and talk about it too. And I thought the place would be packed. But as I said, with $30 for parking, everybody kind of said goodbye. The only other critic who was there was Erica, but she didn't get up to speak. And then as I left, I saw Brooks was there, Brooks and his wife. But they didn't speak either. But it was nice to see them. So I'm going to play for you that section of the meeting. And this morning before, well, actually, I was up all night editing video. So I got to bed about 7 a.m., I think. And I'd finished putting together this short little video that I sent to the city council. Let me play this before the meeting starts, because I'm going to reference it when I get up to speak. But this is from a German live stream that was done back in 2020. And the German government has a task force that watches over Scientology. It used to be run by Ursula Caberta. And, they're serious about keeping tabs on Scientology, because in the post-World War II constitution that was, put together by Germany, they had to have safeguards put in place that another totalitarian organization would not be allowed to flourish. And that's Scientology. That's definitely one of these groups that should be on any government's radar, but especially if it's in your constitution to ward off this threat from something like Hubbard's Sea Org. So they had a live stream where they announced this new program called the Scientology. What was it called? Scientology something. Scientology system? I don't know, something like that. And as part of it, they announced that they've got this new 4-minute video warning people about how not to be fooled by Scientology. And I thought, the city council should see this. So they saw it. At least I sent it to them. I did subtitles for the entire half-hour press conference. But I just finished up the 4-minute video as a separate item and sent them that. And so let's take a look at what they got in their mail today, shall we?
10 Tipps, wie du dich nicht verarschen lässt. Dieses Mal von Scientologen. Tipp 1. Lass dich nicht benutzen. Scientologen verkaufen sich als Kirche oder Lebensberater. In Wirklichkeit aber wollen sie dir nicht helfen. Sie wollen dein Geld und brauchen dich, um ihre demokratiefeindlichen und menschenverachtenden Pläne umzusetzen. Für Scientologen stehst du nicht im Mittelpunkt. Du bist nur Mittel zum Zweck. Lass dich nicht benutzen. Tipp 2. Beiß gar nicht erst an. Persönlichkeitstests sind beliebte Köder von Scientologen. Die Tests ergeben immer Probleme, an denen du arbeiten sollst. Mit der Hilfe von Scientology natürlich. Sich einfach mal unverbindlich informieren. So etwas gibt es bei Scientologen nicht. Unsicherheit nutzen sie aus. Beiß also gar nicht erst an. Tipp 3. Wo Hubbard draufsteht, ist Scientology drin. Es fällt nicht immer gleich auf, wo überall Scientology drin steckt. Wenn du ins Kleingedruckte schaust, liest du aber oft den Namen des Scientology-Gründers L. Ron Hubbard. Schau also lieber ein zweites Mal hin, bevor du zugreifst, denn wo Hubbard draufsteht, ist Scientology drin. Tipp 4. Gib Scientologen nie deine Adresse. An deine Kontaktdaten zu gelangen ist für Scientologen schon die halbe Miete. Dafür wirst du auf der Straße angesprochen. Dazu dienen Bestellkärtchen und Persönlichkeitstests. Hat Scientology einmal deine Daten, wirst du sie so schnell nicht mehr los. Gib Scientologen also nie deine Adresse. Tipp 5. Scientologen wollen dein Geld. Glück, Erfolg und Selbstsicherheit. Das versprechen dir Scientologen als Ergebnis ihrer teuren Kurse. Wenn's trotzdem nicht läuft, bist du selbst schuld und sollst noch mehr investieren. Scientologen wollen dir an den Geldbeutel, dafür versprechen sie dir das Blaue vom Himmel. Tipp 6. Lass dir von jemandem helfen, der es auch kann. Hilfsbedürftigkeit nutzen Scientologen aus. Bei Drogenproblemen, Depressionen oder bei schlechten Noten. Tarnorganisationen von Scientology versprechen dir zwar Hilfe, aber nur um leichter an dich ranzukommen, nicht um dir tatsächlich zu helfen. Check also immer, wer dir Hilfe anbietet und lass dir von jemandem helfen, der es auch kann. Tipp 7. Gib Spaltern keine Chance. Scientologen dulden keine Kritik. Jeder, der Scientology hinterfragt, muss raus aus deinem Leben, auch wenn es Familie oder Freunde sind. Ein Miteinander gibt es nicht. Lass dich nicht isolieren und gib Spaltern keine Chance. Tipp 8. Lass nicht zu, dass Scientologen dein Leben hacken. Für Scientologen bist du kein Mensch mit Rechten, sondern nur ein fehlerhafter Computer. Gefühle, wie zum Beispiel Mitleid, muss man wegprogrammieren. Scientologen wollen dich glauben lassen, dass alles steuerbar ist. In Wirklichkeit manipulieren sie dich mit fiesen Psychotricks. Lass nicht zu, dass die Scientologen so dein Leben hacken. Tipp 9. Vertraue niemandem, der dein Vertrauen nicht verdient. Scientologen verlangen von dir, dass du alles von dir preisgibst, auch deine intimsten Geheimnisse. Denn Information gleich Macht. Wendest du dich gegen Scientology, kannst du erpresst und gefügig gemacht werden. Scientologen verdienen dein Vertrauen nicht. Sie missbrauchen es, um dich zu kontrollieren. Tipp 10. Scientologen helfen dir nicht dabei, dein Leben selbst in die Hand zu nehmen. Im Gegenteil, sie nehmen es dir aus der Hand. Deshalb, lass dich nicht verarschen.
All right, there you go. So, let me respond here to one of the comments I saw. And I see David's been saying some stuff. We'll get to all of these. I didn't want to put anything up that would block the subtitles there, as I spent a lot of time working on subtitles. And Poof 911 says, wait one doggone minute, Mark. Do you speak German? Very cool. Yeah, that would be very cool. Except I don't sprechen Sie Deutsch. I have software that can take a video in any language and give you subtitles and then translate it to English or any other language you want. So that's what I was doing. And then there's a lot of errors in it. So you take time. I took a lot of time with this 4-minute video just to get the wording that makes sense to American ears, as they would say things like, they will sell you the blue out of the sky. And we know, the phrase from that became part of the book title was sell them a piece of blue sky. So I would translate things like that. And there's that whole half-hour thing around it. I didn't go through that and with a fine-tooth comb and fix all of that. So there's probably some errors once I get that put online. But that's the idea here. No English. I barely speak English, but no German for me. The Journey 2020 says, great info. Thank you. And that is a lovely picture of you. Yep, decided to put my face in there. Well, Marcy, you really tickled Kelly. Kelly was wondering about that new photo. And that's, Kelly is, my mod is a dog. Very, very smart, talented dog. Good doggy. Good doggy. I think I'm just making that up. I've never met Kelly in person. I don't think. Let's see. And here's David. This is extremely suppressive. That's what I like most about it. I think Leah made this, says Slappy. Well, kudos to her if she did. Oh, hey, JB. Hey, Journey. Marcy's just saying hello. And Kelly says, LOL, David Miscavige is the #1 poster in Mark's chat. And I always enjoy having David here. David tickles me. Speaking of which, if you ever have a chance, there's this documentary called Tickled. And I read about it and I thought, this is the worst idea for a documentary ever. It's all about these tickle groups where they'll do videotapes of people being tickled. And there's this underground society of people who like to be tickled. I said, that sounds like the worst idea for a movie ever. And then I read on in the review, and you find out that, oh, that's just the beginning. And then it takes a turn that is truly fascinating. And actually, there was a shorter follow-up documentary called The Tickle King, who is behind this tickle scam. If you have a chance to see it, I'd recommend it. It's very entertaining. And there's really very little tickling in it. For all you folks, like Slappy is probably going, oh, tickling. I want 90 minutes of tickling. No, it's not that. It's more of like, you meet Scientology and they say, hey, you come here, we'll tickle you. And you go there to be tickled. And then eventually they take all your money and they sign you up to a $1 billion contract. It's kind of like that. Wow, says Steven Steckel. Just joined and was like, I must have joined the wrong channel until I heard Scientology. Okay. JB808 says he's a super fan and an admirer, as he should be. Are you talking about David Miscavige? And of Antioch says, I've come to be somewhat skeptical, even of well-intentioned Scientology critics. My local Scientology Dianetic Center has my address, and I get 1 or 2 mailings a year. Well, that's pretty light. I think you're getting off easy. Funny how all these people from different countries have the same info, yet Scientology says it's a lie. Yeah, amazing how that works. And as I was going to tell you what I point out to the council when I have my 3 minutes to speak, but you'll hear it when I play it. And I am going to play it whether you like it or not. Kelly says, easiest way to support me. I'm sorry. Saw the picture of the dog again. Nice doggy. Hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed. It's easy and it's free. Listen to Kelly. Thank you, Marcy. Oh, look how cute you are, Marcy. Oh, my God. Get a room. Good heavens. I had no idea this is all going on as I'm babbling. Hi, Marcy. Didn't see you. Your hello. Okay. Well, hey, Journey, says Marcy. Okay. Worst idea for a documentary. Actually sounds insanely entertaining. Yeah, it is. Trust me. I don't know how easy it is to find. I do want to suggest, if you ever have a chance, the Tickle King, or Tickled is the main one. Xenu TV, is it a 2016 documentary? That sounds about right. What, did you find a link for it? Tickled official trailer? All right. Well, let's take a look here. And if I go Okay. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So I've got this lined up. Let me come back here. And as I saw in Laura's video last night, I'm not alone in having technical problems in getting all these things played. And I think Laura is probably smooth sailing on her part, but she said, I'm going to fumble around for a half an hour and make Mark feel good about himself. And I appreciate that. That was incredibly nice of her. And I lost where I am. Oh, here I am. Okay. Let me come back here and let me share the screen. Ooh, let me get rid of that. Oh, come on. This is what I mean, you know. I'm fumbling. Back to comments. Hide that comment. Okay, we're getting closer. Everybody, get excited because we're going to watch this trailer. And then, of course, they'll say copyright violation. How dare you play a trailer? But it's worth it. So I can't get ads on this video after this. It's okay. Who needs it? I don't need to pay rent. Let's see. Where's it? Oh, present. This is what I'm looking for. Share screen and tickled official trailer. Okay. Let me come back here and start it playing and go full screen.
I can't say I've ever interviewed anyone that looks like you before.
Really?
Oh,
I've made a career out of looking at the weird and bizarre side of life.
It's quite a kick.
So when I discovered a strange video online, on my next
CET,
Okay.
tickling group we got here.
competitive endurance tickling.
All right. All right. Something's gone horribly wrong. We're getting close, though. Somebody get Laura on the line so she can walk me through this. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
I can't say I've ever interviewed anyone that looks like you before.
Really?
I've made a career out of looking at the weird and bizarre side of life.
It's quite a kick.
So when I discovered a strange video online, I knew I'd found my next story.
CET, competitive endurance tickling group we got here.
Competitive endurance tickling. It was one of the strangest sports I'd seen. So I told Jane O'Brien Media I'd like to do an interview. Instead of getting a yes or no, I got this.
Association with a homosexual journalist is not something we will embrace. Shame on you. Little gay Kiwis. Regards, Jane O'Brien Media.
It was hard to take the insult seriously, considering the sport did seem slightly gay. This tickling wormhole was getting deeper.
I mean, obviously, it's just for fun. Is it just for fun? It's tickling.
You know, I was young at the time, didn't think nothing of it. And I was like, $2,000, that's going to be cool.
I mean, imagine being a teenage boy. She would just keep sending them whatever they wanted.
She offered my one buddy a Chevy Cruze and $30,000. The money's endless.
This tickling empire is way bigger than we ever imagined.
They have tickle cells all over the U.S. They're everywhere.
And at some point, these boys say, I'm done. The thing that she hates the most was no. It was like a bomb went off.
Your phone number and your personal information are entirely known and subject to publication on the internet.
All hell broke loose.
All of a sudden, these videos are on YouTube, Vimeo, and every other site you could imagine.
Sending emails to the high school that I coach at.
What do you think your mother's going to think about this?
We're shooting a documentary.
I understand what you think you're doing.
If you want to stick your head in the glass first, do it.
Jane O'Brien's a ghost.
Okay, let's go. I'm breathing heavily.
Yes, Sam.
We could hear laughter coming out of the vents.
We've been spotted.
My God. Oh my God.
I tell you, it's good. It is, okay, come on. There I am. I'm full screen now. Hey, look at me. I'm full screen. It is amazingly entertaining. And if you ever have a chance, check it out. And listen, I told Kelly before we're going on, I'm keeping this very short tonight. And she said, sure you are. I guess she's right. Oh man. Let's see. I know people are talking about the street here. And let me go back to these comments. Okay. The Journey 2020 says, for anyone to say Scientology is being discriminated against because they can't buy a street that wasn't for sale to begin with, offer was made to the council by Scientology and negotiations were made. And that's when the trouble began. In private. There we go. I knew there was more to that. The no wasn't official, and Scientology pulled out street not for sale. In brief, yes. Scientology said they wanted it. The city looked into it, said, okay, well, I suppose it's possible we do this. It's up to the council whether they want to do it. And it looked for the longest time like the council was going to say, yes, let's give Slappy the street. But then, thankfully, David Albritton, council member, changed his vote and said, no, let's not do it. And that's when Slappy said, don't you dare take a vote on this. I'm withdrawing this. Because he didn't want to be voted down. The ignominy from that. Oh my God. I'll never be able to show my face in Clearwater again. They voted no, I can't have the street. Of course, he doesn't really show his face in Clearwater to begin with. So, yeah, David Miscavige did pull the offer for the street for now. But he made it clear he was coming back and he was going to try again and explain to the people of Clearwater, and specifically explain to the council members how unsafe that street is. We got studies saying that nobody's on it, so the city doesn't need it. But we also have studies that show how dangerous it is. There's so many accidents on this street that nobody's on. It makes sense if you're a Scientologist. So they're working hard now to come up with some way to explain that it's really in the city's best interests to give us the street because you can't handle all the accidents. We can. We can do a touch assist. If there's an accident, people will be fine. Don't worry about it. We'll handle it. We alone can fix it. The fact that somebody even got close to actually buying a street is nuts, says Stephen Steckel. And, I suppose it is. It's not entirely unheard of. There can be times when it does make sense. You may want to be in a partnership with somebody who's going to bring a lot of business into the area and say, yes, for the greater good of the city, this is a good trade-off. This is not a good trade-off, and it's not for the good of the city. It's for David Miscavige to get what David Miscavige wants. Again, he wants to have valet parking on that street, and he can do that. Even when it's a working city street that everyone can use day and night, except when there's a Scientology event, they can get an event permit and block it off so they can do valet parking. Simple. They don't need to own it. But he wants it. Miscavige wants it, don't you, David? Don't you? Oh, You're getting excited just thinking about it, aren't you? Let's see. Monica says, Stephen, it's just ridiculous. Why sell our good streets that we need? Why indeed? But you get a couple council members there who say, it's for the greater good. Because did you see the video that David Miscavige showed us? No, you people in the city didn't, because he's not showing it to you. He showed it to us. Everybody on the council had our own private screenings. We got to meet Miscavige. He called us in and he slammed his hand on the table and said, "Damn it, I want this street." And they said, "Yes, sir." At least two of them. Look at this. Stephen said, I attended a protest recently. Pretty sure it was called No Tickle Kings. I think I remember seeing that. Something like that all across the country. Definitely not gay fetishism. Scientology is? No, Tickle King. See, I got everybody off track. Elka Antioch says, this looks hilarious. You're right. Scientology is hilarious. And so is Tickle King. Kelly's always right. I don't know what that was about because I did not go back and see what she was referring to, but I know she is always right. Except she was wrong once, but you didn't know me then. So, and that was very nice of her to admit that she was once wrong. You don't have to do that. It ruins your spotless perfection, but you're big enough to admit it. That one time in your life, you actually were wrong about something. And a nation fell. No, I'm sure it was something minor. Look, Kelly convinced Marcy that Kelly is always right. Scientology and Miscavige can't hear the word no. Well, I can't stop saying it. No, Slappy. No. So who's here? Who's new here? Oh, Rochelle came in here. Hi, Mark. Hi, Kelly. I'm speaking on behalf of Kelly. I want to say hello, except it's too late. Kelly already said it. Let's see. Stephen Seckles talking about Scientology's Tickle Assist. There you go. You can't handle the street. I like that. Yes, I saw something about this today. It's always something says state law is that a municipality cannot vacate a street if it is not good for the city. Yeah, but the city can say, for virtually anything, that yes, this is for the good of the city, even if it isn't. But if there's something that they want for it, well, definitely we can come up with a reason it's good for the city. Only Tom Cruise can save people in an accident. Well, it's a good thing that he's got a condo just a couple blocks away from that street. He can be on guard and be there within moments. Even when he's on a film set on the other side of the planet, he can still exteriorize and get here to stop a car just in the nick of time. It'd be like that Superman trailer that we keep seeing. Superman sweeps in and grabs the little girl as the building's blowing up behind him. Tom Cruise can do that. Car's coming, he exteriorizes, saves that person. Except he doesn't have a real body, so he grabs the person and the car runs them down and they die. And Tom Cruise and this go, oops, and pop back into his body on the other side of the planet. No one will know that Tom Cruise was responsible for all those deaths and every traffic accident that happened on Garden Street in the years after Slappy got control of it. There's always something says if there are so many accidents there, then why aren't the volunteer ministers sitting on the corner of Court and Garden giving touch assists? Why? That's what the city needs. We need Scientology volunteer ministers sitting on every street corner. Yes, nothing says we're not a Scientology city. Like having Scientology volunteer ministers fanning out across the downtown. For Scientology to suggest that all are welcome into this new hall is crazy, says the Journey 2020. How many buildings are owned by Scientology and all are actually welcomed? Very few. You try walking into the Fort Harrison. You try walking into the Flag Building. You're not going to get far. Heck, it's even difficult now, it seems, to walk into the Welcome Center. So I've seen video of at least a couple of people taking their cameras in there, and Pat Harney, of all people, manning the front door booth. Who knew that PR rep Pat Harney is now forced to kind of run the Welcome Center? Hello, come in, take a look. You can push one of the buttons and watch a video. It's, yes, L. Ron Hubbard is great. Yes. Emmy Sarosi. I'm not sure that I've ever seen you in here before. Emmy, welcome to you. Miscavige better start writing a book with all his overts and withholds that he made over the years as the cult is dying. Elderly OTs are dropping to the Oaks to die, and no one will get pulled in. The Oaks, a property that Scientology owns for old folks. That street is too short to use for valet parking access. Well, I don't know that it's really. You think it's too short for valet parking? I think it should probably be okay for it. Did nurse here? Hello, Nurse Lori. Emmy says to the Journey 2020, only people with big wallets are welcome. Anyone else doesn't deserve to be saved. Imagine what it would be like if Scientology actually did good in the city. I think about when I was on the council, there were like 80 chronically homeless people. Who has property that could house these people? Scientology. Who has money to feed them? Scientology. But their official stance is they are downstat, and we'll catch them the next time when they are not so low on the tone scale. We make the able more able. Kelly has learned from her one mistake, and that's why she is flawless now. Jay, hey, Mark and Kelly, I'm late. Yes, you are. And this is live. It'll never be seen again. You missed it. I had all sorts of fascinating things that just went by and never be seen again. You go back and watch it from the beginning. Okay, Meredith is asking, here's a good question. This is very on target. We're here to talk about movies tonight. As a movie lover, Meredith asks, what do you think about Spaceballs 2? I'm so excited. Here's what I'm happy about with Spaceballs 2. Rick Moranis is coming back to the screen to be in it. I love Rick Moranis, and we have been without Rick Moranis for far too long. Rick Moranis was a member of SCTV, Second City TV, which is probably my favorite show of all time. It's the show. I think if I were on a desert island and I had enough electricity and a video player, and I could only have one show, I'd probably just say, okay, SCTV, because it makes fun of all these other shows. So you kind of get a look at all of the stuff that I grew up with. Rick Moranis was pretty successful after that. I mean, he stars in Little Shop of Horrors, which is a movie musical I love. That may be his biggest role, along with the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise. And his wife tragically died, and he had young kids, and he just said, okay, I'm retiring from show business, and I'm going to dedicate all my time to raising the kids. And he has stuck with that, only making one or two little appearances. He did some voices in at least one Disney film I never saw. He and Dave Thomas essentially did their characters from the Great White North on SCTV as moose. They were a couple of mooses. He done one or two other little things. But to see him back for Spaceballs 2, I will definitely be there at the theater for it. I don't, Spaceballs is not my favorite of the Mel Brooks films. No, it's not the worst. How good the quality of this film is going to be is tricky, because Mel's not in charge. He is going to come back and kind of oversee it and play Yogurt, the Yoda character. So, I mean, that's great. I love Mel Brooks. It's going to depend on how good the people are who are behind the film. And there's talented people who are reviving it. But I know they did a TV series, a short limited series that was a kind of a sequel to History of the World Part 1. And History of the World Part 2 wasn't terrible. There was some good stuff in it. It was uneven. Same way with History of the World Part 1 movie. That's not a flawless movie either. So I hope, I really do, because I love Mel Brooks. I love the fact that so many people adore him, and so many people in the industry want to work with him and pay tribute to him by furthering something like this. So therefore, I say bring it on. I'm not as excited about that as I am about the new Superman. Every time I see a trailer for it, I go, oh my God. That I'm looking forward to. And yes, he is reprising his role as Yogurt. I agree, that is exciting. Give Scientology Garden Street and let them rename it Fort Harris. Let them rename the Fort Harrison L. Ron Hubbard and Cleveland Tom Cruise Way. Obviously, not enough people care, Mr. Wisebeard man. Well, no, let's not do that. Let's rename the street Lisa McPherson Way. Elka Vandiak says, I pay $40 for a touch assist at the local parlor, and Scientologists volunteer to give them? Yeah, just act like you're in pain, and then you have to kind of point to the area that's in pain before they start to run their fingers over it. So it's up to you what you want to do with that information. Could the city legally rename Fort Harrison to Mary Sue Hubbard Lane or Operation Snow White Avenue? They could do that. Will they? No, they won't, Stephen. That would only bring lawsuits probably from Scientology. JB808 thinks Spaceballs 2 is awesome. I saw the original ages ago, so I have to refresh my memory, but Mel Brooks gets an automatic thumbs up from me. 98 years young. Yeah, and John Candy was in Spaceballs as well, and John Candy was great. Also from SCTV. So how they handle this is the important thing. Monica says, I like Operation Snow White Avenue. Hey. Yeah, Kelly's right. It should be Lisa McPherson Way. Yeah, Mel Brooks is 98. You know what? He if you haven't read his autobiography or listened to the book on tape, which is what I did, it's great fun. I can't remember the name of it, but it's an autobiography by Mel Brooks. How difficult could it be? He had an amazing career. Still does. Hey. Oh, Farrell Charles here. Hello to you. I passed by you, but I see people saying hi. There you are. See, you're saying hey back to them. Okay, so I know you're here. I'm at the stage in the video where I'm just randomly reading everything that's being posted here. So I heard one of the streamers in LA mentioning protesting on LRH Boulevard on Lisa McPherson's anniversary. Maybe passing on December 5th. I think there's going to be vigils for Lisa McPherson. That was the day that she died. I know that they are putting one together in LA. I think there's going to be one here in Clearwater as well. If true, we'd love to see you out there. I think I'll be here for the Clearwater one. So you're going to have Tori there in LA, most likely, and Bunky here in Clearwater. And I've said that I will do what I can. Bob and Doug McKenzie, yes, those are the Great White North characters. And if you wanted to listen to them as a pair of mooses, there is that Disney film, I think it's Brother Bear. I never saw it. History of the world is hilarious. It's good to be the king. My regret, Clearwater Beach proper, Sand Key and Island Estates could not spin off as the town of Clearwater Beach, separate from the city of Clearwater, to be our own town. Well, that would be devastating for Clearwater, because Clearwater Beach is the engine that keeps Clearwater afloat. So I know it's tempting to say, we're out of here, but we need you. Yeah, Emmy says, yeah, if we named it Lisa McPherson Way, they'd probably vandalize the street sign the same way they did with her memorial brick many years ago. Lisa McPherson is dirt for Scientology, and you should think that they'd want to honor her as well. She was their friend. Young Frankenstein is flawless. I have to agree with you there. Young Frankenstein is absolutely brilliant. So is the producers. I love the original, and the musical's good too. The movie's not as good as the stage show, but great. Absolutely great. What's the other one? Blazing Saddles. I remember seeing Blazing Saddles when I was in high school. We were having a get-together over at our music director's home. They had some sort of little celebration, a little dinner, and a bunch of the folks from the music department were there. And for some reason, we all decided, let's go to a movie. Hey, let's go see a movie, everyone. And I suggested, hey, it would be fun. Blazing Saddles is supposed to be very funny. You see the trailer? You know, Mongo comes and punches a horse and knocks him out. So it's going to be a laugh riot. So we go to see that. And our teacher, Fred Leist, was a refined man and a church-going man. And, you know, Blazing Saddles is pretty raw, especially for a group of high school kids. And I was laughing hysterically, and there were a couple of students between me and Fred Leist. And Mr. Leist would occasionally, when something really extreme happened on the screen, he would just kind of move forward and glare at me. And I would go, I think he probably liked it. You know, I didn't see him laughing, but how can you not like Madeline Kahn and Gene Wilder and all the folks in that? Great film. Is Laura here? Did she come by? Okay. Let's see. David Miscavige wants to point out that the new video about me on the Scientology YouTube channel is 100% true. I ate those spicy chicken wings in Buffalo and we had a great time. Wow. Wow. That is some remarkable new footage for the Scientology channel. You really could, you know, win over an entire generation if you were out there eating super hot wings. Farrell Cheryl says, yes, we're doing a whole day for Lisa on December 5th. Absolutely. Got to do it right. Yep, boom. A video for you says, yes, Scamatology pays little property tax, so suck it off the beach homeowners. If CB split, Clearwater would go bankrupt. Not enough revenue from the Green Hood. Hey, you know, there are a lot of good people here in Clearwater. You beach people, how dare you want to send us to an early grave? Because that's what you're trying to do, isn't it? Yep, Dick Van Dyke. Everyone's praising Dick Van Dyke. Yes, another legend it's amazing that he's as spry as he still is. And, you know, he is somebody that I absolutely adore. And a video for you says, I do appreciate your efforts, though. I remember when you lived on Bruce Street. Thank you. I enjoyed living there. I think it's Bruce Avenue, isn't it? Could be wrong. Lily Von Stoop. I'm tired. Sick and tired of love. Madeline Kahn, absolutely fantastic. I think I'm caught up with most of these messages now. Okay, so, well, why we're here, actually, was not to talk about great things like Mel Brooks and Dick Van Dyke and Frau Blucher. That was a horse winning. We were here to talk about this meeting tonight. You want to take a look at this portion of the meeting, the city council meeting? Where they discuss the state attorney general saying to the mayor saying, watch yourself, watch yourself. You could be opening up yourself to a major lawsuit from Scientology from your discrimination against the religion. And I think probably it's a good idea for us to take a look at this. Okay, let's give it a shot.
In 10.1, Councilmember Cotton.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bringing up the Attorney General's letter, and the reason that I'm doing it in in the sunshine is because I've been advised that that's how we have to go about talking about this particular item.
Yes.
And I've heard different levels of seriousness on how this letter should be taken, from this is nothing to this is extremely serious. So having those polar opposite opinions, I went ahead and reached out to the AG's office because I like to deal in facts and not just what I'm hearing. I spoke with...
By the way, what do you think of the stubble and the mustache? It's a little hard adjusting to it. This startled me tonight. I was, I trembled a little.
Mr. Dewhurst, the chief of staff for the AG, and he stated that this letter was to be taken and is to be taken very seriously. I also asked him about any vacation issues that might have pertained to the letter, and he clarified that the Attorney General's office letter pertains solely to concerns about discrimination, and that the AG's office is not intending to involve itself in a vacation processes of local municipalities. So for the reason of not being able to speak to each of you individually and let you know what I found out, this is the only format that I'm allowed to do that in the sunshine for ethical reasons. And that's why I put it on the agenda, so that I could explain to you the information that I heard from the AG's chief of staff. So,
all right, go ahead.
Information only.
Okay.
All right. We're listening.
And just to piggyback out on that, I mean, the letter was addressed to me, not to the city, not to the council, to me directly. So I spoke with Chief of Staff Dewhurst 3 times. I spoke with him before the letter arrived. And then I spoke with him after the letter arrived, and I spoke with him a 3rd time on Tuesday to really, confirm what you said. It was...
So you're not so special, Ryan. You're not the only one who can talk to somebody in the state attorney's office.
Informational, doesn't require us to take any action. And so, if staff needs guidance or whatever, we can put that on for a session agenda topic. But essentially, same information that you communicate is what he can communicate to me.
Yep. That was the only...
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Bringing it up, I think it was something that we have to talk in the public about, because we cannot have these discussions, and we do not, obviously, behind closed doors.
We know.
Especially with this one, because there were so many variances and opinions on how we digested it and how we understood the meaning and the direction moving forward, and how we take it. It was kind of confusing, I think, to a lot, which is slightly disappointing. But I think there are things that we can have a brief discussion about, and how we move forward with this, because we can decide to not talk further about the underlying issue, and it's just going to come forth again. People know that. I think it is in this council's best interest to try to be ahead of some things instead of just being reactive. And I think this is another example. Some clarity that I hope that we're allowed to have a discussion on, just so we can try to operate out in the sunshine, but on the same playing field, is, I think we all agree, and there is no questions, we cannot and we will not discriminate. And I think we're all in agreement with that. I think that the lack of clarity comes in that wasn't stated in the letter or in discussions that you had, or discussions, Mayor, that you've informed us here on the dais about, is, can a fair market value still be attached to a vacation of a right-of-way? I don't know if we've gotten answers or clarity on that, and please stop me, City Manager, if I'm wrong. Can assurances be attached to the vacation of a right-of-way solely regarding that proposed development property, on things like calendar time, transferring of the title until the project's done? There is some conflicting verbiage in the letter that doesn't give clarity on that, as well as the well, I think we all kind of understood, but I'm not putting words in your mouth, is there cannot be any quid pro quo attached to it. So meaning we cannot put assurances attached to other properties not involved in this development proposal on that vacation right away. And I think those 3 or 4 things we lack clarity, and we don't have those discussions. I think it's important if we come to some agreement. It doesn't have to be here, and it doesn't have to be now, and maybe a work session, as you discussed, is a better place to have it, and having that scheduled so that we can understand that. But
now, bear in mind that what he's talking about here is David Miscavige came to the city and said, hey, you know what would be fun? I will completely redo the downtown and bring in a guy who recruits businesses. We'll build a movie theater. We'll do all this stuff for the city of Clearwater to make this a vibrant city. We just want Garden Street. That's all. For now, that's all we want. Just give us that, and you'll have a vibrant downtown. And now Scientology is turning to the attorney, the state attorney general, and saying they're making us revive the downtown in exchange for the street. No, that's something you've been promising to do since 2017. We're saying, would you put it in writing? Because we're not sure we trust you after all the times you've lied to us and stabbed us in the back. If we go out on a limb and do this for you, give you the street, would you at least put it in writing that, yeah, we're going to do that? It does not seem to be illegal to, notarize the fact that this is a promise you've been making to the city. Why would you even want to contest that? Unless, of course, you don't plan to make it down. That's just me.
my question, and you can support it or not, is if we ask the city attorney, and not to divulge his opinion here to us today, but maybe the city attorney's office can provide for us a memorandum of opinion regarding the letter and where our city's attorney's office stands, how our city attorney interprets this, because we are, most of us are not lawyers. We're not in that profession, and this is where we lean heavily on that advice. So I don't know if that puts the city attorney's office in a bad place, but it is something we could talk about. But would we be willing to maybe give 10 days or something to provide to us as a council? Outside of that, but provide to count, obviously it becomes part of the sunshine, a memorandum of opinion regarding that letter.
Well,
thank you.
If I can add on again, the letter was written to me. I mean, it was not written to the city. So I think we need, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to put on agenda for the next work session, which is where, we didn't have a work session for this meeting. So typically that would have been the appropriate. We put it on because you wanted to share something. I appreciate that, Councilmember Cotton, sharing what your conversation had been. But I think that I'm careful in this situation, because long ago I learned it's true, that old adage that the lawyer who represents himself is a fool for a client. So even though I've been practicing law for 34 years, I don't want to give this council the legal advice, but I did receive the letter in a different way than those of you who are not lawyers did, in that I don't see legal significance to the letter. It's not a court order. There's been no judgment rendered. There's been no evidence presented. There's been no arguments by two sides. It was really an informational and guidance letter, but it's not even an attorney general opinion letter, as you would add, that really sets forth the law or really tells us what to do. In this case, if come to the issues that you raised, if there's a dispute between two property owners, or there's some question about who owns what, there are ways through courts we can get direction over that. But in this case, I guess one argument is the position is that the taxpayers own the property. And then we've got a property owner that thinks that because they own both sides of that property, that they own the property. But the way that's handled as a termination, there are ways to do that, is a court decides. We are in the taxpayer's position. For the benefit of the taxpayers, yes, it'd be great if it was city property. But if the property owner on either side feels differently or thinks the law's on their side, they would present their arguments. So I think if we put it on the work session agenda for next time, it would give the city attorney a chance to kind of flesh those out in individual meetings with each of us too before then, and answer whatever questions that you raised here individually. And then we could come back together at the work session and discuss it more fully. I feel like the time between now and July 7 would give him a chance to prepare. And now that he heard your question tonight, that might benefit us all in just slowing down a little bit, evaluating it, and trying to give the staff some direction on what our process would be going forward.
I will say that I also talked to Mr. Dewhurst again today to make sure about the vacation process and the clarity, to make sure that I was spot on with what I was sharing. And in that, he did go on to say that you just have to do what you would for one that you do for all. So, I mean, as long as the city is doing that and the city attorney understands that that's the way we're doing it, then it seems like we have pretty good direction with the processes in which we may already be doing. So I don't know if that gives you any more clarity with that.
Yeah, we're not selling the street to anyone. That's what we're doing. We're doing the same thing for everybody else who's been clamoring for the street, including Brooks. Brooks has said, okay, if we don't have the street, we'll work out something there that will be a great tribute. That will be coexisting with the street. But there you go.
Yeah, no,
Portion of your question.
Thank you. I appreciate discussion. I just think that we are going to come to a place, we're going to come to a fork in the road when we are, as a body, going to look to our city attorney's office and ask for guidance on defining this. And whether it's at that work session or it's before, I think if we're going to wait till the 7th and then come to that fork in the road and then push it off again, I think we're just prolonging and spinning in a wash cycle of dragging our feet. I think we know this is going to come before us. We should be on the same page and understanding our direction and what a process legally should look like and what is our city attorney and our legal department's stance on their interpretation of it. So as we walk into this work session, we have the information, we have his team and his direction, and we're all on the same page versus where we are right now as we walk in here. We all have, and rightfully so, very different understandings as I'm understanding it of a truth and a reality. At some point we have to come to what is our reality and our truth as a city, and we rely on legal advice for that. And I just think that why not get that proactively done now versus waiting, kicking the can, and we're going to be forced to make a decision at some point. So I don't know if 10 days isn't enough, maybe we give 2 weeks or by the work session, but I think we are going to have that decision and direction at some point.
Yeah.
Talking about we're going to need to get an answer on this from, well, you sit down, each council member sits down individually for an hour a week with the city manager and the city attorney, and the city attorney keeps you up to date with progress on whatever it is you're working on. So if you have questions like that you want to have answers to, you ask David Margolis, the city attorney. What's the deal here? And he will tell each of the 5 people sitting up there the same thing. He's not crafting a different answer for every person on the council. So you should have an understanding of where we're going. And you may come back and say, I know you said this, but is there a way around it? Because we'd really like to give the street to Scientology, and how can we do that? Or you may come in there and say, we cannot give the street to Scientology. We must not. you know, and the city attorney has to deal with that and find, you know, the legal path forward that everyone on the council will agree to. But it's not a mystery. You sit down with the attorney an hour every week. So you should know what his position is. And he'll say in this meeting tonight, you know, it's what I told you before is what I think.
And I guess my question is, what's the rush? What's the hurry? I mean, there's no pending request to vacate the street as of now. So I don't know what I don't know what the hurry would be to put it on the 7th work session, take some time and allow each of us to meet individually, ask questions, but also, and then bring it back for discussion at the next work session would be my suggestion. Yep.
And I agree with you. I think that there hasn't been a request yet. We think there's one coming. I think at that point would be a good time to have that work session discussion. We don't need to be jumping the, you know, doing it before we really know what the request is going to be. So I'd be for just waiting for that to come in and then set something in a work session where we can all discuss it.
City Manager?
Yeah, if I may, just for the record, we have had a question about the process. And so in terms of timeframes, so I've provided what our agenda schedule is, but in terms of what the process is going to be, the staff does need some direction to answer that question. So that can be done after that meeting. I'm not setting any timetables about it, but I do want to make sure that the council understands that we have been asked that question by the applicant.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, so my question would be, what is our answer? And we do not have an answer to give them. What do we, to anybody, what do we say? We don't.
The question in regards to the vacation process, correct? Like, has it changed or is there any difference of it?
That is correct.
Right. And has the interpreting of the Attorney General's letter changed our process or the process attached to it? And that's what we're unsure about, right? So,
well, I think
so.
I don't think we understand the significance of the letter. I think from the property owner's point of view, they see it as more significant as what we might see it from the citizens' viewpoint, as far as who owns the street. Yeah.
If I may. So again, I will say that the clarification of the Attorney General's letter pertains solely to the concerns about discrimination, and they were not getting into the grounds of vacation processes. So I would say that
the process hasn't changed.
The process hasn't changed. What we do for one, we do for all, and nothing changes with that, and it continues as is.
And he was clear in all three of my conversations that the vacating the street is a local issue, and they are only concerned with state law. But vacating the street for us was a local issue.
I did get that same thing, that they weren't looking to get into the local municipalities or jurisdictions vacation process. But that's what we have to figure out here.
Does that give staff direction?
Sure. Yeah. As long, city attorney, that's fine.
Simple as that.
Is what fine?
the direction being provided by council. So I just want to make sure we're all in line with this. So the direction has not changed.
My opinion and the advice that I had given for many months to the council, manager, and staff has not changed, and I've not been given a reason to change that opinion at this time.
Okay, so. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. We want to know. We want to know what this all means. Who can I turn to? How about the guy you have the meeting with every week? Yeah, what I told you months ago is the deal. That's the answer. Okay. What don't you like about that? What he doesn't like is that there weren't 3 votes for Scientology. How can we not give Scientology this street? Anyway.
Well, I think that's important to have these discussions, because we came in here and didn't have that direction, or could we give it? So I appreciate the discussion. I appreciate you bringing it forward, for sure. And Now you have an answer.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That's
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. With that, we will move to item 11, closing comments by council members. Councilmember Cotton. Okay.
Not so fast.
Well, what do you want to hear from the public? Like to speak to this agenda? We didn't take
Yeah, I
any
think
action on
somebody
it,
would.
but I'd invite anyone from the public who would want to speak on it.
Thank you. Brave citizen who spoke up. What do you have to say? I'm going to make fun of this guy. Look at him waddle.
No, man. For you.
Come on, hurry up. We're all waiting.
Hi, Mark Bunker. It's not
he's
surprising that Scientology would run to the state attorney general for assistance when he got a no vote here. I think it's important, a lot of the points that were made here tonight, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you saying that this was to you and that there's nothing really changed here. There seemed to be a real threat from the state attorney general saying that it's religious discrimination, suggesting it, not even mentioning Scientology. And then you could be in big trouble. Just putting a thumb on the scale, I think, for Scientology. I sent a video to the council this morning, a short 4-minute video from Germany. Mr. Mayor, I forgot to send it to you, but it's called How Not to Be Fooled by Scientology. And it was produced by the German government to tell people how Scientology operates. Nothing about religion, nothing about beliefs at all. It's just, why you should beware their tactics. And the council should be aware of how they operate. They're not going to take no for an answer. At the L. Ron Hubbard birthday event at Ruth Eckerd Hall in March, Miscavige showed a video, beautiful video about the hall and the park. And at the end of it, it said he's breaking ground this summer. And I'm sure he will. He's going to go ahead and build the L. Ron Hubbard Hall and the L. Ron Hubbard Park. He doesn't need the street to do that. He wants it, but he doesn't need it. As you can see tonight, our parking situation here, Scientology is charging $30 a car if you wanted to park here to come to attend the meeting, which is why I think there's virtually nobody from the public here tonight. My feeling is it's great that we're having discussion about it. I appreciate all of this. Don't be scared. Don't be fooled by Scientology. It would be nice if Miscavige apologized for the harm he's done to the city. I don't think he's going to. It sure would be nice. And the Attorney General suggested that, the point escaped me right now. The point that he was saying you were putting restrictions or insisting that he put businesses in other buildings to get the street. That was Miscavige's offer. He came to you. So for Scientology to go to the state attorney and general and say, look what he's making us do. They want us to put businesses in these buildings. That's Miscavige. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mopper. Is anyone else here tonight like to speak to this agenda?
No, I do just want to clarify that I don't believe there's a $30 parking charge strictly for council's meeting tonight. There's a concert this evening.
Yeah. City council said.
Yeah, no. So I just want to be clear to the public that's watching or listening. It's not charging $30 to keep people from coming in here. There is a concert tonight, and I think some of us might be venturing over afterwards to enjoy it. But that's all I wanted to cover.
And I left that correction in there just so people would not get the wrong impression. I wasn't meaning to suggest that Clearwater Scientology is trying to keep people away from talking about them at the city council meeting. So we'll charge $30 for parking. No, there was a concert, and it just ties up all the parking spaces, and Scientology then can get away with saying, okay, we're charging $30 a head, and not a head, but per car. Whereas they had a deal with the city that they're going to make one section of the parking lot available for council meeting parking, which apparently when there's a concert on does not apply. Anyway, where does the money go for the parking? To Scientology. They own the lot. Does not go to the city. And what we need is Bunky for 2026. That's for sure. What a campaign slogan that is. But what we need is to use eminent domain to take that parking lot and put up a parking structure for the amphitheater and park and the library. And thank God we have a new city hall that's rapidly being constructed. There'll be parking there for free. That won't be impacted by the concerts. We'll have a building that Scientology won't be able to buy, a city hall that's not for sale, as they purchase the tower that City Hall is in right now. And we will also have, once the council meetings leave from the first floor of the library, we're opening up the library to museums and other possibilities to make it another gathering point on the bluffs for the public. So there you go. All that's standing in the way is Scientology. Seize that property. Put up that parking structure. Bunky. Thank you. Parking, what a concept. Yeah, you're going to need it. Journey says, I'm going through the town, not sure where city meetings take place now, but would love to make sure I got all lots owned by Scientology. Okay. Not exactly sure I can decode that, but the city meetings take place in the library. And hopefully before the year is over, that new city hall will be opened and it will be delightful. And it'll be a much nicer place with better sound and video equipment than what they have now for the council meetings. That'll be nice. Okay. Meredith lives in a godless city. What city is that? Guess maybe I'll move there. Professor Kakan says Scientology charges the public exorbitant fees for parking. That's not a religious practice. That's a profit-making business. To be fair, any church that was down there, I mean real church, if they had a parking lot, they could charge for it. Like any other business down there. If you got parking spaces and you got a chance to make a buck, there's nothing illegal about them doing that. You know, I hate to see people turning away a meeting because there's a demand for $30. But, you know, I was able to go 2 blocks away and find a place to park for free. So, you know, it's not impossible. It's just annoying. You got to make these things as easy as possible for people. Anyway, I think that's what I have to show you for tonight. And that little video gave us an hour and 39 minutes worth of video streaming here. And I hope every single second of it was just staggeringly entertaining and delightful, and that you will come back again so we can talk some more and babble about movies and anything you want to talk about. I really appreciate everybody who's coming by. I appreciate the fact that you are liking and subscribing and telling all your friends, because the channel is growing because of you folks. And I've got much more stuff on the way. And I should be back tomorrow with some interesting tales. I have footage of someone talking about what it was like at the ranch where Hubbard was when he was in hiding, as Mary Sue and all the other top Scientologists went to prison. The paranoia out there on the ranch was so strong that they were doing all sorts of insane things, which will be detailed probably tomorrow night. I'll play that video and we'll all get a kick out of it. Did you know that Mark has a new merch store? I do? Wow. Check it out there. Yeah, because you can get your own Bunky and Magoo mug, just like that. See? All sorts of stuff that you can find at the merch store. And man, oh man, your life will be complete if you find yourself decked out with a Wise Beard Man cap and a Bunkinetics t-shirt and drinking from a Bunky and Magoo mug, and you got yourself a mouse pad for Xenu's Playhouse. Good Lord, put that on your Christmas list. Yeah, you just said like any other business. Business is right. Yes, just like the merch store is business. Just like any other business. All right. Looking forward to, I'm assuming, the video that I described of intrigue in the desert. I hope to see you all back for that. Everybody, it's been a great night. Bow down before Kelly for the spectacular job she does, as always, here. And we will both see you again soon, okay? All right. Good night to each and every one of you, including you, David Miscavige. Good night. Sleep tight.
What are your crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? Your crimes are hidden, they should be seen. Spin all out, Mark, and just come clean.